whenever you go and look at your contacts, now here's a list. These are all my sample names. They're just dead presidents, basically. If we go into a list of names here, got the main address, contact information. You've got ways to classify them, categorize them different ways. You can go in, set up notes, tags, connections. Connections are, who are they related to in some form or fashion. In this case, James Garfield, Lucretia Garfield, spouse, um, and the details. If I want to go to that spouse, I can click on the name, and then it takes me to that contact record. So there could be other people that's involved. Spouses are, primarily in there, but you could have um, adult kids in there, the sons, the daughters. You could have grandparents or whatever, and each one of them have a linkage so you can see stuff. But here's what I want to show you. Here's those important dates. You can set up all kinds of important dates. Some dates you want to show all the time, some you don't. We've got a way where you can click on the little eyeball here to show all the dates, whether they're filled in or not. If a date is not filled in and it's not set to show all the time, it will be hidden. But you can use lots of different dates for lots of different things. And these dates can get filled in either manually, like filling them in here, or you can use a routine to update a date for you, which just keys off and starts another routine potentially. So all the things that you would do to automate things, just focus in on these important dates. We've got important dates for contacts, for properties, listings, transactions, and if you've got the projects side, also the projects. Those are your building projects. Got a whole section in here for personal details, for priorities, things that are important to this contact. All the calendar activities that may be assigned to this person will show up here as either the current or anything that you've completed. Any kind of agreements. Now, agreements would be your buyer agreement, seller agreement, stuff like that. You can put those in here. All the different social links. If you want to create links to Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, you can put that information in there. And then we've got a checklist area, and this is a very special area for calendar activities that have checklists. Will show up here if that calendar activity is for this person. And you can go in there and just check off the checklist that pertain to certain calendar items, and those, as they get checked off, then it basically helps to complete those calendar items in the calendar. And then we've got a section for files. So keeping track of all your people, keeping track of all the properties that go along with it. We do a similar type of thing for properties. If I go into a particular property, this is all the bedroom, who's the owner, who's what's the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, all the details about the physical location of that property. Once you get a listing on this, then you can see all the listing details for this property. And over time, you will have potentially multiple different listing versions. So you can come in here and see, past listings that you've done with this. Maybe you've sold it and bought the same property multiple times because you deal with the buyers and the sellers and whatnot. So you've got all the property information, you've got all the listing information, and then once that listing gets a buyer, then you've got the transactional information. Who's the party members? Who's the, what are the important dates for it? These key off other routines. Here's the party members that are involved. The buyer's agent, the buyer, the cleaning service, whatever. You can put different people in there. The calendar, any calendar activities that are in there, notes. Here's a checklist. We were talking about checklists. As you complete checklist items, they can get marked off the calendar items. This particular checklist item is actually a field validation field. Basically, it's saying, okay, it's a date field. I want to make sure that that date is filled in. When is my contract date? And if it's not got a value, you can assign it right here, and it will assign it to your database record. The nice thing about this is the fact that whenever you've got maybe an assistant, they don't know the software, all they have to do is follow checklists. They can just go in there, do their activities each day, check off the things that need to be done. If any of those checklist items are field validation, figuring out what the field value should be, then they fill it in and it updates the record for them. Don't even have to know where to put the information. It knows that by itself. So um, that that is kind of the bulk of what SAM is about, and want to make sure that everybody gets the picture, understands where we're headed with this and what how it can be useful for you.